but the YouTube, I don't think if it. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, it works. Hello everyone. Excuse the first silence. I was just checking that the things works. I'm Marc Torices, and I am the author of book. This book here. Uh, it's called oh shit. It's called The Merry Life of a Wretched Dog, Cornelius. Okay, and it's a book that it's translated from a Spanish edition from Apa Comics. It's the same edition, the same size, barely, and it's also published in French and in Polish. There it's called Cornelius, and I can barely read the title there. But well, so nice to talk to you. Excuse my English because it's not my first language. It's not even my second language. So uh, uh, I can barely speak, but I'm gonna try my best. Okay. I'm gonna explain to you what it's the book about. Okay. It's a kind of fake anthology of this character. Okay, you will see that in the first pages there is like different approaches in style. Okay, it seems in the beginning that there is this naturalistic story of a dog that meets a frog, but then suddenly something happens and it it starts in another direction. Okay, and there is like strips and stuff like that. Okay, in the first 50 pages you can see I was trying myself to I was trying to just present the character. Okay, using this kind of strips and this kind of fake covers and uh, pages. Okay, imitating like this kind of publications as this one. You know, this I'm sure that the people who knows about comics knows about this kind of uh, books, this or this one, right? Where you can see the like a compendium of stories connected by the age or maybe the thematics or stuff like that. So in the beginning, the book it's presented as one of these books, and you can, if you look closely, you can see stuff like this. Okay, wait, I don't know if you can see, but here there is a little number, and here there is another number here. Okay, there is little numbers in some pages that follow. If you follow the number and goes and you go to the end of the book, okay, there is the notes part, you can read about the context, fake context of these little jokes. Okay, so this is one. This is the beginning of the beginning, the first idea of the book. Okay, but then after 50 or 60 pages, something happens to this character Cornelius that uh, troubles the kind of jokes or the kind of experience that he's used uh, to live. I don't know. Excuse my English. Okay, again. But well, after that, something happens. So the ambience of the book, even following this anthological nature of changing the styles and little every scene, it's drawn as a as if it was from another book, but some drama starts to follow the doc. Okay, so this is the idea of the book. Okay, then there is a drama. It's like a noir kind of a situation, but well, it's a very simple. It's not. I mean, it's not. It's not super. The I think that the interesting thing is this playing this game. So, and that's, I think that's why it's translated in so many. Well, I don't know why it's translated, but let's follow the the talk. Okay, so I'm gonna try to explain where it all started. Okay, it started a lot of years ago in 2011 in this zine that I published with a friend. His name is Pau Anglada, and we studied together. Okay, and we did first these two other zines. Okay, excuse me. We did these two other zines, fanzines first. La Cultura del Duodeno, number one. La Cultura del Duodeno, number two, and then the third one. In this one was where Cornelius was born, but we try to do our jokes there related to um, the arts student life, kind of a life. For example, this one, I have this joke here. It was one of the first that I did. It was just a boy who tries to write a joke, and finally he just uh, well, yeah, I don't know why I'm explaining this. The important thing is in the third scene, we realized that there was not a lot of people wanting to do wanting to be part of our fanzine, so we start to try to emulate other other artists. Okay, so if you to try to, if someone took the fanzine and just take a look, they would think that maybe there was a lot of people participating there in the book, in the zine, so that it was, and it was not true in the beginning. So we start to try to do stuff like this one, for example. Oh no, sorry, this one. It's a kind of style that was, we were trying to draw like Bruguera, Spanish classical comic artists. from after the dictatorship, or also this kind of style, more noir. We were all the same people, okay, but we tried to do different styles just to make sure that people thought that we were a lot of people. So we create a PDF. We invite again people to come and draw for us, and we convinced them. So finally, in this issue, there was a lot of people here, and Cornelius was born there, just because I wanted to do my own funny animal character. And years after that, I published uh, another zine in 2015, sorry, and it was this one. This is the copy that I have, and it was just one-page self-containing jokes, just like some kind of a Sunday pages or something. And that was a compendium of pages that I used to publish in Facebook from 2014 till 15, or maybe 16. I don't remember exactly. But well, I was doing this kind of zines, just little zines. I don't know if this camera works, but hopefully it works. And this was another one from 2018. This cover was it's a photo of a toy, a little toy that Sichi Song did for me when I met her in a film festival, because I do also animation since 2015. So we met in a film fest, and she did this. I have the doll here. She used to do. She's a cinema director of stop motion movies, and she did this. She did a little animation, in fact, and also photos. So I use it for the cover. And well, the nature of the zines was always this kind of little stories, and always playing with these aesthetics, classical aesthetics, and changing the style, trying to play with the the nature of comics, right? Because comics can let you do a lot of stuff with playing with typographies, and the idea of creating a character that can be fake, can be like the create apocryphs of the same character was very funny for me, very fun. I like a lot to use these books like this. Well, this was a present that someone, two friends, give to me, but it's a it's a an like a museum, a book of the Museum of Toys in Figueras. And here I can this kind of books inspires me a lot, because there is always there is always like a representation, like a funny representation of, of stuff, even if of famous characters, like this one. Everybody knows who is him, or this one, or this. I'm sure that they are not canonical. They are not from the original company, but we know who they are. So that's the what I'm trying to do with So I can explain also what 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 was I, yeah, exactly, Groucho Max. What was I doing before Cornelius? I was studying. I start with comics a lot of years ago, and was I when I was studying with Pau Anglada and starting this scene, La Cultura del Duodeno. Also, I was working on a comic that was called Abrir para Cerrar. That means open to close or something like that, like some action that doesn't mm, uh, you don't you don't well, that doesn't mean some nothing, open to close, something like that. And it was 100 pages of story of this nature. I was very interested on Anders Nielsen uh, work, and I was trying to do my best copying him. But hopefully, no one saw this book because I only published 20, 20 issues, and I'm very happy that only me and 20 more, not well, people can read this mess because it's a real mess. But well, this was my first like a real book, even if it's not published really. I published myself, so. And the second book was this one. It's not published in English, so just uh, oh, thank you. Someone is 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 saying that you are talking. Okay, well, um, this was the first real book published in Spain. It's a biography of one writer, Argentinian writer. His name was Julio Cortázar, and it was just a biography. Okay, I can show you. Written by a writer called Jesus Marchamalo. You can see his name here. And well, I work in during 2 years in this book, and I play a lot with also with the aesthetics of on the medium of the comic. Well, yeah, I am always trying to play a little bit with. Sorry, I am not showing to you, but I try always to just uh, be have fun. It's very important for me. The the I don't know. Sorry, my English is very bad. Yeah, having fun. I'm just trying to have fun drawing. So here, that was pretty good for me. That was like a good school because this was published in Spain, but also in several editions, and also in French and in Italy also. And that was important for me because if I would not uh, finish this book of 200 pages, or even the first one, I'm sure that I would not be. Uh, I'm sure that maybe it would be a little bit more difficult for me to finish Cornelius. So let me. Oh yeah, how I draw. Yeah, I draw. I draw always not digitally. someone asks if did I draw digitally or in paper, and I have here a little some originals, okay, and I can show you how I do. It's the typical way to do it. I draw pages like this. First on, I mean, on this kind of paper, it's just like the less expensive and the most cheap paper, and I do with brush and pilot this kind of, this kind of pen, you know, this is the typical one, and also this kind of brush, the Chinese Pentel, I think it's Pentel. And then I scan it and I put color digitally. But the first thing is this kind of stuff. Okay, can you see? Maybe I can show you how it ends. I'm gonna follow. I think, yeah, this one. Can you see? Is this one. So I draw always a little bit more in big size. In DIN A3, it's the size of this kind of papers. I think it's the typical hero paper, the big one. And sometimes I use both. I mean, my way of working, it's I'm learning how to take care of my originals, because I heard that you can even make a living selling them. So I would try my best to do a better one. And sometimes I even put color on them, but I finish always doing stuff in the Photoshop and doing this kind of stuff. I can see that I have a lot of stuff here, even things that are not from Cornelius. I did this when I was, well, in 2012, a lot of years ago. Yeah, look, here I have another one with color pencils. But then after that, I can show you this one in how it's finished. Can you see these faces? And finally, it looks like this. So it's very different, as you can see. But well, it's how it works. I'm sure that everybody who is doing comics today, they are always finishing on Photoshop, because it's the most cheap and fast, and even, I mean, you can find really interesting things there, because there is, well, I can show you also, I'm going to show you some sketches that I carry. Usually I'm carrying these kind of sketchbooks where I write ideas or conversations, and I also draw, portraits or maybe characters, okay, like this, and then I use it. Sometimes I find in the US, I think it was in America, where I find this French fries bag from Andy Cap, this character. It used to be a comic strip character. So this was from 2019. And yeah, I work a lot on, well, you can see here it's like a thumbnail of some story that I was doing. Yeah, it's always like this little tiny, maybe stuff like that. I don't know. I'm showing you. If you have any question, did you read Andy Cap comics? Yeah, uh, yeah. Andy Cap it's translated in Spain, or maybe I read it also in this kind of books. You know, so because here we can I discover a lot of American characters that sometimes they are not translated, but Andy Cap it's translated. Okay, I can show you maybe. Yeah, you can see here portrait of my cat. I'm doing also always this kind of, well, I'm sure that I show a lot, right? This kind of portraits, and I can show you also because uh, oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. The detective, someone, well, I know who is she. Lucia asks if the detectives in the book are inspired in my cats, and they are, yes, and they are here, they are there, but they are sleeping. I would show you the cat, but maybe I can show you. Maybe I can show you the cat. Yeah, why not? It's just a minute. Here is one. Oh, okay. Here is one cat, and the other one, I don't know where is the other one. He's sleeping. He's sleeping somewhere. But well, now I'm gonna show you another thing. I don't know how many times we are. Well, we have time, right? I'm gonna show you now the toys because a friend of mine, well, a guy who writes me using Instagram, he asked me to do toys, and then we met. We finally we are friends now. But he's a very good, talented worker, talented toy maker. His name, the enterprise is it's called What the Fuck Toys, and he did this toy here. I'm sure. I'm hopefully you can see it properly. It's Cornelius. Can you see Cornelius here? And it's very big, as you can see. They are for sale. He painted. He do the painting by himself. It's a very artistic thing, and he did this big one, and then he did this tiny one version, and then he's working on this other. Sorry, this other one, kind of. So the idea of making Cornelius some kind of a big character from I mean, in the end notes of the book, there is always the joke and the idea of that this dog it's like a very famous character, and it's he's becoming like important for this nation invented fake nation. It's called Miami. It's a republic, and it's very funny. It's very fun to see this kind of things that suddenly happens, not super. I mean, massively, or in. I mean, we doesn't sell a lot of these toys, of course, but it's fun to. It's like the idea of faking, of creating this character as a big stuff. It's becoming like it's like a bigger and bigger lie. You know, you understand, right? Yeah. The idea is, yeah, trying to emulate like this kind of. I love this book. You know, this book. I will like to. In fact, I met Chip Kit 2 weeks ago or three, and he's the author. Well, not the author, but the editor of this book. And here you can see this kind of little strips and sketches, and also the memorabilia. Sorry, I'm not showing you, but I'm sure that you know about this book. It's an amazing book. And yeah, for example, these toys. It's like it's pretty. It's a beauty book because I'm really in love with this kind of books where you can see the work of a work of the work of an artist, through all his life, like this one, for example. Alex Raymond, Alex Raymond, he did Flash Gordon, and also, well, this color is very bad, but he also did Agent X9 and Rip Kirby. Well, it's always, I don't know what to say, just this. Yeah, exactly. The other five favorite cartoonists are, for example, Alex Raymond, or maybe Alex Toth. I like a lot too. I have a lot. Well, of course, Chris Ware, and Daniel Close. In fact, Daniel Close did what he was the first on doing what I did in Cornelius. This idea of faking different styles uh, in the same book, used uh, for used as a tool to explain a story and a drama. He did it here. This is my Spanish edition of Ice Haven, but he used these different styles as a, when the kids are living his their drama, he used this kind of shot, this kind of page, as a Mafalda strip or Nancy strip or Peanuts strip, or I don't know. And when you see these other characters, sorry, as this one, as Vida, she used another kind of composition. Can you see that it's different, much more romantic? And, or for example, the best one is one from the detectives. That page blows my mind, because, oh, sorry, I can't I don't know where it was. Oh yeah, this one. You can see there is the cover of the book and the inside pages of the book in the same page. Oh, can you see? Well, of course, this book is a caricature and much less smart way of doing, because it's much more. I don't know the word. Sorry, but yeah, this is one of, and I love this guy. I discovered when New York Review Comics published them. I like this book a lot, and I like a lot this strip. There is one strip that it's a mute jokes, and they are very, very good. There is one chess joke that I like the most, but I don't know what is it. I should put a mark there, but here is one, and I like this one, for example, too. Maybe I'm sure that you don't know about this, but he's Xavier Nogués in Barcelona. She did little, how you call it, cuentos, well, like tiny stories, and there is illustrations of this guy. Well, there is another guy, Spanish one. Maybe I can show you the Spanish ones, right? Rafael Azcona. He was a writer, and also he writes for films, and he was very smart doing jokes and with their because he works during the censorship in the Franco dictatorships, and he writes a lot of and very, very smart way of writing, because during the censorship there was not allowed talking about certain things, so he was smart. Well, I like a lot Crazy Cat too. I like what can I show you? Oh yeah, I have something to show you that I discovered last week in Montreal. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Excuse me, because and I have this one too. I want to show you. Okay. Can you see me, right? Yes. Last week I discovered. Well, I discovered a bookshop there. Well, first, of course, the Drawn and Quarterly bookshop. But there was another bookshop of old comics, and I find this French edition of Hachette, these French books. I'm very pleased with this kind of comics, because they can read it. You can read it in two ways. There is like a cinematic. These sequences are very fast, but then the text goes much more slowly, explaining what is happening. But you can see already what's happening. So, and I'm sure that this way of explaining the stuff. Of course, this was for kids, but I'm sure that, well, even if it was for kids, interesting too. So, okay, there is another question. Maybe I'm gonna answer that question, but just a minute. I'm gonna show you the other. Well, I find this one from Calvo. You know about Calvo? She was a French cartoonist. He did a very famous one, but this one is it's a weird one. Okay, and that's all, right? Yeah, I have to answer the questions, but uh, the last one, only two more cartoonists. I'm sure that you are not familiarized. Maybe you know about her, but she's Mary Duval, and she was from early 20th century, and she did comics even before comics. The word comics was created. She draws very, very good, and I love this book. This is one of my most appreciated books. And also this one from Rodrigo. It's published only in Spain, I think. And he is really a real. He was from La Movida, you know, the Spanish after the dictatorship. After the dictator dies, there was like a very uh, uh, very, you know, like freedom of, well, the idea, well, the feeling of there was freedom of, at least, and you know, this the gay scene and all the queer starts there, and it was important. So okay, I'm gonna answer the question. The scene that I most I enjoy the most was, I think that was uh, the most large one. It's this one. It's a scene where Cornelius is walking, taking a walk with Alpaca, because this book it's about Cornelius, but the real mm, front character it's Alpaca, and she's the girl. It's a friend of him, and they take a walk. Uh, I try to use my best drawing lights and stuff like that. And I look a lot to these Sunday pages of Gasoline Alley, you know, not not to uh, emulate the kind of lighting, but to emulate the kind of, you know, rhythm, you know, yeah. And well, this scene it's very tricky because something happens very important. Maybe you can see some violent act, and the rhythm starts to go faster in some point, and it was very very fun for me to think about it. And the page that I like the most is this one. I'm showing the Spanish edition, sorry. Maybe I can show always the English one, right? Because it's the one that you are gonna be able to buy. So, well, I like the most the page I like the most is this one. Sorry, yeah, this one. This is the Auca. Okay, the Auca is it's a really an early comic strip uh, in in here in Europe, but in Catalonia we call it Auca. In Spain we call it Aleluya, and it's always like a little vignette. vignettes with a tiny like a sentence here, and it's always like a poem. I don't know how you call it, but uh, with a rhythm. Uh, in Spain, we say that es una rima, asonante, disonante, no sé qué. But well, I don't know if I can express myself. I'm sorry, but well, this double page was drawn after the one Auca of Montserrat from Joan Junceda. He was a cartoonist from Catalonia, classical cartoonist, and he was really some kind of a very good classic artist. And I also enjoy a lot this scene where Cornelius, after the violent act, Cornelius meets a guy in the night, and it all that scene. It's very like a horror movie, because one person appears, and the other scenes that I enjoy the most, even not only drawing but writing, were the ones where alpaca, the alpaca ones, are those of this character who is part of the book. She's trapped, and she try her best to to be there in the best way she can, and she remembers things, and she thinks the most. I mean, I like a lot how this character thinks, because Cornelius, he doesn't think well, really. He's a I mean, look at his eyes. He's really a stupid dog. Very bad. Very bad. What can I show you now? Maybe I can show you this. I have I have a lot of sketchbooks here. Yeah, I don't know. Why not? I have some characters. I don't know. I don't know if you have any more questions. I don't know what can I say now. You can see here. Here there are some sketches from alpaca scenes. Here, and then I finally put there in the final page. Okay. Yeah, my favorite character. What's my favorite character in the book? I think that it's Alpaca. Yeah, just talking about her. She's the one that I like the most. She's the most sensitive and intelligent one. And she's the niece of the owner of the gym where Cornelius works. And she's, yeah, I don't know. She's not into this jokes area, Cornelius, it's always, I mean, from the beginning, in the scenes, the character was created to have fun, to make fun of him. But Alpaca, it's like she doesn't belong from that world. And I like to draw a lot Cornelius, of course. I enjoy drawing even in walls or, but I like a lot also this other character. Well, I show you before one of them, but this is, there is two characters in, there is two detectives in the book, and this one it's uh, um, based on the cat that you saw over there a few minutes ago. So yeah, these are the characters that I like the most, I guess. Maybe I can show you another books that I like even much more than mine, of course. Uh, Wait, it was these two books. I also discover they are all only published in France. It's from an author. It's called Jerry. Oh, we will be wrapping up soon. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we are finishing, but I'm gonna show you some pages of this genius of La Bande Dessinée. He was doing fantasy stories, but look at this draw. He was really something. And he fights in the First World War, and there is some photos of him that are very charismatic. Well, I think that's all. Excuse my English. Excuse my discourse. You know, this non-structured discourse, but that's what I did. So, well, in the book, it's much more justified, and you will see that maybe you can have fun reading it. So, yeah. So, uh, goodbye, and thank you. Thank you for being here, listening.